Hi everyone, it's Lucille, Cookie Lou 46, coming at you with a little bit of an update since my last plea for help regarding my hemorrhoidal issue. Well, thank you so much for all the responses that I got from all you guys and gals out there. It was really helpful, and I did take some of your suggestions and investigated them, and I have, bought some of the products that you had advised me to buy, and I did start using them. I also went to another doctor. Excuse me. I'm a little injured here. I just took my walk at the Lakeview Park up the street from me, and just as I was leaving, I fell down, which is not good, especially that I fell down on my artificial knee, my right leg. Bam. The slab of the concrete of the walkway was raised up a good amount, and my shoe hit it, and down I went, and I landed a good flag and a half past the stumble point, right on my artificial knee joint. And rule number 1 is never fall down on your artificial knee, and that's what I did. And I also cut my hand and hurt my elbow, and I don't know if you can see, but I got a boo-boo over there. See my boo-boo? So I'm laying there on the floor, and I'm saying, oh my God, I fell. Oh my God, I fell. What am I going to do? I can't get up. But I have to get up. I mean, there's a bunch of senior citizens, all ladies, mostly ladies, that saw me sitting there, and I saw them coming over on their walkers and their canes, and in slow motion. I said, they're going to come help me, but they're too old. They're not going to be able to pick me up. They're not going to be strong enough. So I kind of I kind of fell half on the walkway and half on the decorative rocks that they have in the planting areas, and they have these big trees there. And so I kind of scooted over onto the grass to get a little bit more footage. And I know I can't kneel on the artificial leg. That's a total no-no. And the other leg, my left knee, is totally arthritic, and so I have to kneel on it. I have to do it. There's no way. I have to try to get myself up. I'm looking around. There's no maintenance people around, and I said I'm gonna have to do it. So I got up, and just as I got up, these 3 old ladies got to me with their canes and walkers, and they said, are you okay? Are you okay? Here, hold my walker, use my walker, which I did, because I didn't know what kind of damage could have happened with that knee hitting the concrete like it did. So I hobbled over to the golf office, the golf shack, near the miniature golf, which was right there. And I filled out a report, and the woman that helped me, one of the women that helped me, put her name and number. She's she lives in Sun City West, and which is about maybe 15-20 minutes from here. But it's such a beautiful park, and the reason I was there is I had taken a lot of pictures that I was making a montage with on Arizona in my neighborhood, and I wanted to get a few more photos before I actually uploaded the montage. And I was just on my way home. I only had about maybe 300 feet more to get to the car, and bam, slap right on the concrete. So I filled out the accident report, and then I went back and took, with the help of these women, they were holding my arms. They wanted to make sure I didn't fall down again. And I took photographs of where I fell, and just in case I did damage. I mean, sometimes I could have, you could do damage to these joints and not know it months later. So I have an appointment with my doctor on Wednesday, the 17th, and I'm going to tell her to set me up for a x-ray, just to make sure that there's nothing cracked or bent or dislocated. I am numb in that area, which usually happens with excessive use or damage, like bumping it or falling it. And I iced it, took some photographs. I was all red. Anyway, that's why I'm all a little frazzled. I just got home a little bit ago and I decided I better make an update. Getting back to the hemorrhoids, I did go to another doctor like I said I was going to do in my last video. And the one that I wanted to see was a surgeon my friend had used and was happy with him and with the results of her hemorrhoidal surgery. But he wasn't available to see me till the end of the month. I went to see him last week, and I was in such a state of discomfort. I wanted to see somebody right away, and the doctor that was available is the younger doctor of the group, and he's pretty much just starting out, but he's capable of checking me. And anyway, so he gave me an examination, and then he came back in the room and he said, well, and I quote, "You need an operation. It's going to be very painful. You're going to hate me." And I mean, it's not what I wanted to hear. And I wanted to hear, hey, you got some problems down there, and I feel personally that it requires surgery, and we're going to fix you. Don't worry about it. It's going to be done comfortable for a while, and this and this and this could happen. There are, complications with any surgery. But he didn't go there. He just said you need an operation. And I kind of knew in my heart that I did probably need an operation, but I guess I felt it so deep in my heart that I scheduled a surgery with him for the 24th of April. And as the girl was booking it, at the hospital, which is right down the block from my house, and so, by the way, is this guy's office. These doctors, 3 of them, have an office very conveniently located by my house. I was just getting so nervous, and I saw my hands trembling, and I was breathing heavy, and I was just so not happy with the thought of having to do this, suffering with a painful surgery and recovery right after I had, my stomach removed, most of my stomach removed. I says, I'm not ready for this. It's only 6.5 weeks since my gastrectomy. I'm not ready to have a painful hemorrhoidal surgery, even though I need help. I said, I don't know, I can't do it. So I went home, and I was just a wreck all day, all night, not feeling good about my decision to do this. So I called up the next day, and I canceled it. I said, I'm just not ready. Well, why are you canceling your surgery, Miss Serpy? I says, I'm just not ready to do it now. I'm still in the recovery stage of my, vertical sleeve surgery, which is not even 7 weeks down the line, and I have to take care of this before I enter the thought of having a painful surgery, and there are complications. And he also told me that I had 3 hemorrhoids. One was very large. I had 2 on one side, 1 on the other. I assume they're internal. That means cutting in 3 different places. Cutting anywhere in that area leads to or can lead to worse problems down the road because of scar tissue building up in the surgical area. And I read some people online who had some comments to make about their surgery, and most of these people were several months out and not feeling good, still in a lot of pain, still having difficulty. So I figured, you know what? When in doubt, don't do anything. So I'm glad I canceled it nonetheless. And I called Mexico. I called Puerto Vallarta. Tried to get a hold of Dr. Hoya, and his cell was busy. So I called his patient coordinator that I dealt with a great many times in the course of preparing for my surgery. And I called Gerald, and I says, Gerald, this is the situation, blah, blah, blah. I says, okay, I'll call Dr. Hoya. I'll email you with the results. Less than 10 minutes later, he said, I talked to Dr. Hoya, blah, blah, blah. He said, oftentimes when you have restricted diets, and no fiber in your foods, you can have constipation problems, etc. He says, but now, he says, you are ready to eat solid foods. You don't have to be on mushies anymore and liquids and such. He says, so get on regular foods, and you can take fiber, Metamucil. He says, there's no problem with that. Because it said in the instructions, no fiber supplements, etc. But it didn't say in the patient manual that I got that it was only for the first 4 or 5 weeks, until the swelling of the surgery went away. He's at 7 weeks, almost 8 weeks. You can take fiber now, unlimited. Don't worry about it. Take it at least 3 times a day if you have to. Take your prunes, prune juice. You'll be eating solid foods now, and that should help make things a little bit more comfortable. Might not get rid of the hemorrhoids. Eventually, I might need surgery. Yes, that's a very strong possibility. But right now, I just want to be able to deal with the issue without having to use the scalpel as a source of fixing it. So I started on prunes, prune juice. I'm eating regular foods. I did take the Metamucil, and things are feeling, not quite as painful, and I'm having better movements. I'm having smoother movements. Enough said. You don't need to know all this crap, literally. So anyway, I'm going to continue to handle it myself first until I feel I lose more weight, until I feel better about having surgery. And I want a more experienced doctor. This doctor was, I'm sure, very capable of, extracting hemorrhoids, but he's only a couple of years into the business, and I want somebody with at least 15, 20 years background. That's what I want to do. I want to find a more capable doctor. The stall, my next topic of conversation, has ended. Hallelujah. I probably was a good, 25, 26 days stalled out, no weight loss. And then I noticed about a pound and a half down. And I went, ooh, I think things are starting to move. And, but it's hard to tell because with my scale, I had this scale, and it's kind of digital. It's not the kind that gives you your BMI or your water weight or your bone mass or any of that. But it's digital, and I've had it about 16 years. And I have a tendency of getting on the scale and then getting off and waiting a minute or two and then getting on again. And the reason I do that is that I keep getting different readings. It could be anywhere from like 3 or 4 pounds difference. So I figured this scale must be too old. I went out and bought a digital scale. It cost me like $60. Same thing. So I looked up, Googled the digital scales, and they say that they're touchy and they could be tricky, and you will get a differential in weight. You have to stand on it in the exact same spot each time. If you're a little off in the way you position your feet on the scale, it can change the weight. You have to make sure your batteries are strong and that the floor is balanced and level, so make sure you keep it in the same spot. And I says, well, if I have to go through all this, I might as well use my old scale that gives me 3 or 4 readings. I'm not getting anywhere. Why spend $60? So I brought that scale back, got a refund, and now I'm using my other scale. And pretty much I'll get on and off maybe 3, 4 times, maybe 5 times, depending on how many misreads I have. And if I see a weight that is consistent at least 3 times out of 4 or 5, I take that as being my weight. So according to that method of weighing myself, I probably lost about 4.5, 5 pounds more. So I have lost weight. We're starting to shift into the weight loss gear, and I'm very happy about that. Was also complaining a little bit that I felt I didn't have enough restriction in my stomach. I was able to swallow more liquids, bigger gulps, and more quantities of ounces and etc. But I do see that now that I'm on solid food, I feel that restriction a lot tighter when you have food in your system, going down into your stomach and into your system that's more solid. And I do feel fuller, faster. I could eat a whole small a little sandwich. I had one of those little multi-grain round, really thin muffins. I don't know what they're called. I think they're called browns. And they're really, really thin. The 2 pieces of the muffin is probably equivalent to 1 slice of bread calorie-wise. I think it's like 100 calories. I toast it, and I had that with a little bit of sodium-free V8 juice. I just kind of soaked the bread in that a little bit just to kind of give it some moisture. And I sliced an avocado, and I had that as a lunch. Very good. I ate half. I felt satisfied. I figured, well, I don't want to force it. I never force more than, I could probably get 3/4 of a cup of food in without problem. So I ate half, and then I was busy on the computer, and then about 20 minutes later, I finished the other half of the sandwich, and I felt fine. I felt like I had a solid meal in my stomach, and I was fine until dinner with that. So things are looking up. Things are getting better. I do have another montage coming up that I've done for you. It's the park that I have been walking around in the last couple of weeks. It's right up the street. I have to. I mean, I could walk there, but I don't push that, because if I walk there, I wouldn't be able to walk around the lake. So I drive there so I can walk around the lake. My knees could only handle so much, and especially now that I flopped on them. Who knows how sore they're going to be for a couple of days. So I go to the Lakeview Recreation Center, which is, like I said, a few blocks up the street from where I live. It's lovely. It's very naturistic. It's green. It's got a zillion trees and flowering bushes and every animal under the sun. And I took a lot of lovely pictures of the park as I was walking around. And it has lagoons and a huge lake and a waterfall. And it just represents the Arizona that I live around. So I thought you would enjoy that. And I took a lot of pictures. So be prepared if you're interested in watching the nature of Arizona, mostly in a man-made environment, because truthfully that lake is man-made, it's not real. And the lagoons and the waterfall, it's all run by pumps and cleaning systems, but it's beautiful, and it's a huge lake. And there are many homes in Sun City that retired people have built around the perimeter of this lake, and they have boats, and there's a lot of lovely big fishes, that big fishing that goes on in there. They used to have trout. They don't anymore for some reason, not sure. Big catfish, bass. In the lagoons, they have a lot of little fishes that swim around. They have turtles, and they have ducks. Oh, wait till you see the ducks. They're so cute. And we have geese all over the place, and they're most of them are pretty friendly. I only came across one that was nasty. Didn't want me to walk up the path, wouldn't let me pass, just honked at me and stuck out his tongue and made a hissing noise and was flapping his wings. And that was a couple of years ago. He's not here. And I did rescue a goose once that was injured. I found him in the parking lot by the bank. I was with my son at the time. And we were driving out of the parking lot, and we saw this goose, and he looked like he was in trouble, and apparently he did hurt his wing, and he was dragging himself, and I'm saying, I said to my son, my older boy, Ralph, I says, Ralph, I think he's trying to get to that water over there, the water pipe. There was a water spigot on the side of the bank building that was dripping. And he was heading towards that. I think he wanted a kid to take a drink. So I always carry a jug of water in my car. It is Arizona. That's number one, primal rule for survival. Always have water in your car. But I didn't have my doggy dish. At the time, I had my Schultz, my dog, with at home. And I took the dish out of the car to wash it up, and I didn't have a dish. So talk about how God works. Here I am, my son's on the phone. It was a Sunday, trying to reach animal control or sheriff's department or somebody come help us with this poor goose. It definitely needed to be brought to a hospital. I had my jug of water. I'm pulling off a piece of bark from the palm tree to try to use as a cup to try to offer this goose a drink. Gentleman came over in a black pickup truck. He was going to make a deposit in the box in the bank, in the depository. And he saw me with the water and the little piece of bark. He says, "What are you doing, ma'am?" He says, "You need some help?" And I says, "Well," I says, "this goose is injured. I'm trying to give him water. I have the water, but I don't have a bowl." And he went, "I have my dog's bowl in the car." Went in the car, in the truck, got this big bowl that his dog drinks out of. I filled it up. I had the water, he had the bowl. Together we saved the goose. And I filled it up, and the goose just pushed himself over and was licking that water for 40 minutes while we were trying to get somebody to help us. Needless to say, nobody did. So I had a towel in my car, and the guy in the truck had a big box. Okay? Talk about partnership here. Teamwork. So I take my towel, and my son says, "Ma, watch out, they can get mean, they can get ugly. Don't touch it, don't touch it." I said, "This goose is injured. He knows we're trying to help him. He's not going to attack me, don't worry about it." So I take this big towel, and I wrap him carefully, not to hurt his wings, in the towel, and I pick him up, and they're pretty heavy. They're like a turkey. And I put it in the box that this other gentleman had in his truck. And he followed us to the 24-hour animal hospital, which was about maybe 10 minutes away. We handed the goose over, and they said they would have him transported to the wildlife sanctuary, blah, blah, blah. We called up the next day, which was Monday, and they said that he was fine. He didn't have any broken wing. It was just bruised, and he was very dehydrated. Very dehydrated. So they hooked him up with a line of fluids, and then the next morning on Monday, they shipped him down to the wildlife sanctuary, hospital, care center, whatever. And there's a woman there, talk about the angels helping you out, who lived on a lake where they had a ton of geese. And she said she was going to monitor his care and then release him on her lake where he had other geese to flock with. So that's my goosey story about rescue. And I rescue a lot of birds here because there's a ton of them. And I rescue the doggies because there's so many in the pound that need help and homes, and it breaks my heart. So if you're looking for an animal, please, a dog or a cat, go to your shelter, go to your pound. Don't go to a breeder. It's not necessary because all the ones, many of them that came from breeders are sitting in the pound, either waiting for a home or waiting for the gas chamber, one or the other. So please, if you're looking for a pet, go to the pound, go to the shelter. They're loaded with beautiful pets. Okay, so I'm losing weight. My hemorrhoids are hopefully on the mend, for a while anyway. The only thing I have to worry about now is make sure my knee is no longer going to give me any further problems from the fall I had today. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not. My leg is very sore and stiff. I just iced it, which lets me know that it's swollen from the bang, from the fall, but I just cannot take anti-inflammatories anymore. My tummy will not have it. My surgeon said if at all possible, no NSAIDs. Absolutely no. Take a small pain pill if you have to for a painful situation, but do not take any NSAIDs if possible. And if I must take them, I have to take double Prilosec tablets that day. So I'd rather just not take them. I'm feeling so much better, and I praise God that I lost these 45 pounds, or 42 pounds, I think. I think it's 42 total now. Because without that weight loss, ladies and gentlemen, I never would have gotten off the floor of that park trail. I never would have got up. Because you can't kneel on the artificial leg, and the other one is artificial knee, not leg. And my other knee is so arthritic, but it is still real bone, and I use that to kind of roll over on and kneel up. And if I did not lose that 42 pounds, I'd still be sitting there, I swear to God, until some man or several men came over and hauled my ass off the ground. So anyway, that's my update. Like I said, I've been talking a lot. I'm probably very winded now. I don't even know how long I've been talking here. I talk too much. That's part of my New Yorkiness, I guess. So anyway, my friends, thank you for all your help and your tidbits on what to do for hemorrhoids. And I'll talk to you again soon. Keep an eye out for my my montage on the Lakeview Recreation Center Park. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye.